Julio, tonight obviously just didn't come in sharp, and didn't have command of any of his pitches. Got behind, and really didn't have a chance to get anything going. And it happened pretty quickly there in the first inning, the second inning, and couldn't get through the third. So, with his 5 starts this year, he's found a way to kind of minimize damage, but the walk to strikeout has 13 walks, something like there are 13 walks, 11 strikeouts this year. Has been consistent, unfortunately, and you've got to get ahead of hitters to then give yourself a chance to be efficient and go deeper in games. So with Julio, I'm not sure if it's mechanical, what it is, but we've got to figure it out.
It has been kind of the same sort of issue. Usually he's not getting ahead, he's not finishing. Could it be something besides mechanical? Is it an approach? What could the issue be if it wasn't just his mechanics were messed up?
That's something that we've got to dig into, and I think as far as the fastball velocity, that's been there at times, but hasn't been consistent. I think when he wants to reach back for more, he does, but with the fastball to not have command of it, couldn't get the breaking ball over. The change was up, and when you're trying to get major league hitters out, and you can't locate, make it tough on yourself. So yeah, Andy, it's been pretty similar, for 5 starts now.
He told us he was working in the position in his hands before he delivers the ball. So is that the case, that he's working something like that?
Well, Rick talked to him, when he was on his rehab assignment, or when he was, in Oklahoma City, and was trying to get his hands above his head to sort of create and sustain balance throughout his delivery, and which would allow for him to potentially repeat his delivery more and more consistently. So that's something that he's been doing for the 5 starts, and again, I don't know if it's mechanical. That might be something he's trying to work through. I don't think it's physical. I'd like to think it's not mental, but again, we've got to kind of figure out what's next, and how he can get back to the pitcher that we know he can be.
Dave, given how you have sort of a roster crunch with Maeda coming back, and you've been shuffling starting pitchers, is it possible that that next step for Urias maybe doesn't come at the major league level?
I think anything's anything should be on the table, and right now we're going to go back and sort of reevaluate his last starts and figure out what's best for him. So obviously we've got some an excess of starting pitching arms, and Logan's coming back at some point here shortly. So there's going to be some roster decisions to be made. But yeah, Eric, we've got to have these conversations. We'll have it tonight.
Will you have Fields and Avila tomorrow? They can go back there.
Yes, they'll with the off day coming on Monday, they'll be able to go back to back. But there's a thought, as far as with McCarthy and how much, if something unforeseen does happen, you've got to have coverage. So that's going to play into our discussions tonight.
With Ross having pitched last night, though I know he gave him a couple innings tonight, was the kind of long man out from once Julio started to struggle? Was it just inning by inning with those guys?
Correct. You Hatch pitched 2 days in a row, and Ross was up, but in talking to Rick, he was around 45 pitches. So, as you see the game develop early, and you're starting to kind of trying to figure out how you're going to get through the game, and if for some reason we do get back in the game, and so to have that typical long man like we have had to potentially give us 4 innings, with Ross tonight, it wasn't feasible.
Was tonight the first time that Cody had hit in a 3 spot up here?
Well, it might have been. I've had JT in the 3 all year, and so now it's been 2 games, so I would say yes.
How do you feel like he adapted to that role tonight? Obviously, a big chance for a 21-year-old to be in that spot.
I'm not worried about Cody as far as the head and where he hits in the order. I've hit him 4th numerous times, and for me, he's putting together very good at bats, and I think he's earned it and he deserves it. And so, when you look at the sample of trying to win one baseball game, I've got to make decisions on who I feel gives us the best chance to win. And so, I like him up there 4 times.